Hello and welcome to What Have We Learnt? Incidental learnings from interesting people. I'm Ben Punter here at the Edinburgh Fringe 2019. On this episode, Tom and Ben were the Thinking Drinkers. Their show, Heroes of Hooch, is currently showing at the Cow Barn in Underbelly. That's at 8:20pm every day of the Fringe. That's at Bristow Square. That's just behind the Gilded Balloon. It's a very fun and silly, informative show, and you do indeed get 5 free drinks. And then after that, they'll be on tour around the UK up until April 2020. To find out details and much more, head to thinkingdrinkers.com for details and much more. I caught up with Tom and Ben here at the Fringe as we talk about the show, its origins and Edinburgh life, plus congas, footwear and drunken audiences. What have we learnt with the Thinking Drinkers? Tom and Ben, hello.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Good. Very
really good.
considering.
How's your Fringe going so far?
Well, we were just discussing it. I think we're 8 shows in now, Ben. This will be our 8th. You're speaking to us ahead of our 8th show.
Which is third of the way through.
Yeah. So.
And I think the first week is always the most stressful because you have to go through that, or at least we do that enforced, unavoidable period where you know the show is not going to be as good as it will end up being, and it's just those sort of growing pains.
Yeah.
So we're sort of in that. I think we're out the worst of it. The two previews were brilliantly shambolic.
How many years have you been coming up to Fringe so far?
So this is our 9th year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started in 2011, which if you do the maths is.
Yeah, it's confusing because it's 2019, so you think that was 8 years ago, but this is actually
the 9th.
You have to start.
I had
one.
the same conversation on a train. This is my 3rd year, so I came here in 2017, but that was 4 years ago. So I was like, how does that work? It made no sense. We had like half the journey on train was, wait, how can 4 years ago be 3 years ago?
No.
And it was just like, it made no sense.
It's maths. It's really irritating. But yeah, so this will be our 9th Fringe, and you'd think we'd sort of got a handle on it by now, but it seems every year there's something that takes you down because of the diet and the drinking and the general shenanigans. It feels like this year it's not been a cold or a sinusitis, it's been all about bottoms.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sort of food-based or?
Really just painful,
No.
sort of roid-based, you know?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I know, you mean.
There was a stand-up on Instagram who said, I probably can't say his name. Well, you put it on Instagram.
You can say it, I can bleep it out.
Carl Donnelly.
Okay, yeah.
Just did an Instagram post. He said, I've been in Edinburgh for a day and I've done 6 poos. And that sums it up. I don't know, there's something about getting up here. I think it's a combination of nerves, maybe a few too many beers.
Yeah, and also the walking as well,
the
maybe.
Walking,
Yes, you're right. The
chafing.
Yeah.
Really.
The damp.
Yes.
And the nerves. Everything just comes together.
We just diagnosed all ourselves in one go.
Yeah. But we've medicated, and it seems to be getting better.
So, Thinking Drinkers.
Yeah.
For those who've never seen the show, never heard the show, what is it about?
Okay. We've been doing it for 9 years, so the shows vary. But to give you a general idea of what it is, it's a tasting. So we give out 5 free drinks, which is very important. We say that. I
think legally I'd say complimentary.
Complimentary up in Scotland.
But
it's part of the ticket price. You buy a ticket, you get 5 complimentary drinks. And we are drinks experts. So for the last 20 years, we've been writing about all things drink. So that was the premise of the show. But around it, to make it entertaining, we tell jokes and we dress up in silly costumes and we effectively tell the history of the world through drink, and we've taken on various themes. So in the past we've taken on the pub or country, so we did 80 drinks around the world. This year it's called Heroes of Hooch. So it's all about great men and women who did incredible things, all of them with a drink in their hand. Now
it's a show which I haven't seen yet, but I've got tickets.
Good.
So on the intro of this podcast I should have some details about how the show went. So it's like, go back to the beginning to hear what I said about it, because I haven't seen it yet. But I have seen the show last year when it was the
pub crawl.
Yeah.
And I saw the year before that, which was History of Alcohol.
Yes, that was
which was odd, because it was the only show I've ever been to where the whole show ended with everyone doing a conga out of the venue.
That's right.
And
yeah.
that was it. There was no like go off into the streets and then that's it. Go about your day. Like and there's like a round of applause that started in the corridor. It was like, but we wanted to clap that. We like, that's not fair. Oh, okay.
Oh well, yeah. In hindsight, we won't do that again. It didn't occur to me actually. We didn't get any.
Yeah, it wasn't very good for our
fans.
egos. I mean, if anything, normally at the end of the show you should get a kind of high, but I really hated that conga because I don't. I mean, just as congas go, there's just not. I just can't stand them anyway. But you really had to take your embarrassment glands out for that one. And especially if the show was on a Sunday and everyone had been, appreciative but rather subdued. Getting them up to do a conga was really hard work, and then you had people who had dodgy knees, and there were stairs. And
there's also an element of like, as the fans of the show, fans of the we are here to see comedy. We queue enough as it is, and now we've got God, another bloody queue. Is this?
Yeah.
Are you in the queue for? Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But there was good reason for that conga, if you remember. It was Alexander the Great's father who created it, who created the dance, and he was a massive drinker. What did they call him? I can't remember.
Philip the Great. He was called the Human Sponge.
That's right.
Wow.
Yes.
And he slept with a
golden
glass
drinking cup.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a ledge.
So that's one of the things about the show as well, is that it is fun and you do get free drinks, but I don't remember a lot of them. I don't know what's a sign of.
You don't remember a lot of the drinks or
I don't remember
any of the
facts.
content.
I remember. I know thinking that was a fun show.
Yeah.
Do you remember any learnings?
Well, I think that says more about you than anyone else, Ben. I'm going to be honest, because the amount of alcohol we do give out is modest. It's sort of 10 ml. It's not even really more than 2 large shots and half a beer. So you've possibly had a drink before you've gone in there.
I mean, that's casting aspersions.
Well, and also, highly likely, I think it was like an 8 o'clock show. And to last at 8 o'clock without a drink at the Fringe, please, come on.
No, absolutely.
Is that ever a risk that you've got people who are coming in already drunk and then you're basically stoking that fire a little bit more?
Well, no, it's very carefully policed.
It's very carefully policed. It's like any all the people that give out the drinks, the people on the front of the house, all those kind of people, they're told to not let anyone in if they're visibly intoxicated. It's a law up in Scotland. We had to do a licensing course before we started. So it's all. But Scotland's got quite a funny rule because you're not allowed to serve anyone in pubs who is drunk.
Yeah.
That's an actual law in Scotland. But I don't think it's ever been applied, and there's no legal definition of what drunk is. So it's a bit of a silly law, but one which we're very
I mean, and also if you know the show, so you know our catchphrase is drink less, drink better.
Yeah.
And I think when we came here nine fringes ago, it was still the case that we were in this sort of the back end of the binge drinking Britain that hit the front pages of the likes of the Daily Mail.
Yeah.
But actually, over those years, we've seen people are starting to drink less but drink better.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons people come back to the show is because the drinks are interesting. Quite luxury drinks. We're trying to say something a bit different about how you approach alcohol. So I think attitudes are changing. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, all the stats suggest they are. Whether they're filtering down to the Fringe audience is another matter. But I do. Because we tour this show all over the country, and the Fringe audiences actually don't. I mean, there doesn't seem to be much more rowdiness at the Fringe than anywhere else.
No.
I mean, I think it's a fun show. It's especially a last show, which was called Pub Crawl. The idea is we're in a pub together. We're learning stuff, but we're also mucking about.
Yeah.
We don't. If people are a bit rowdy, I suppose we don't like people just talking to each other, or that seems to be quite annoying.
Yeah.
But just in terms of enjoying it and getting a bit rowdy, that's fine. That's good.
But that I think the talking to each other comes from like, oh yeah, I can really taste those notes, or it's like, oh, I don't like any of those. You have mine.
Yes. Yeah. Oh no, we don't mind that. It's
You're
just
right.
yeah.
We've managed to sort of try and mitigate that a bit over the years, but also now we get to do all our costume changes on stage. So we allow people to give out the drinks and have that moment, and while the lights go up and then they come down, it's like we're back in the show. It's funny how technical it's all become.
So what were those early shows like though?
In 2011?
Yeah. How's the show kind of evolved since that days?
Christ.
They was just they were so funny. If only we could.
I think
they were pretty ropey.
I think Shit would be a good word for it. No, but just to give it some context, neither Tom and I have done any training at all. We've never been on stage before. It was a huge learning curve. I was terrified. We were terribly nervous before every show. It was in a freight container at the Pleasance with about 50 people in there. That's the sellout. It was on at midday. And it would have shown. But it was more of a tasting then, and us just standing there with very, very few props. And it would have been a very Fringe-like.
Yes.
Our show is still a bit like that, but I like to think we've got better at talking.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned to get the right people involved and help us. So this year we're working with a woman called Caroline Pope, who's a choreographer who's worked with on Hollywood films.
Yeah.
We've got Jeremy Stockwell's our director, and he's taught at RADA, so he's a big hitter in terms of direction and training actors. And we've got this guy called Chris Lana who's written the song for us. So I think you learn as you go where your weaknesses lie, and get as much help with those as you can to turn it into something a bit more impressive.
Because what's been like the biggest learning in comedy? It's from like, because you start as doing it as a tasting show, and it's now a tasting show with comedy. What's kind of been like what's been your own personal learning of like, oh, that's how you do it for performing as a comic performer?
Well, I think there's been so many things. I think one of the main things was I think we've become nicer in our comedy over the years. Now we've cut out jokes or ideas for the last 2-3 shows if they're just a little bit malicious.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I think we just, if it made anyone laugh, we put it in. And then we realised that I think our strengths are the fact that we're mates and there's a sort of chemistry on stage, and it looks like we're nice guys to go to the pub with and all that kind of stuff. And then and so that's we did a sketch 2 shows ago, which was actually grounded in historical fact. It was about this guy called Prince Vladimir of Kiev, 10th century. He had to he needed a religion. It was a pagan empire. He wanted to choose a religion, and he had to choose between Islam and Christianity. Yep. And it's absolutely true. He loved Islam, but when they said that there's no drink, you can't drink vodka, he announced that the sole reason he's going for Christianity is because they had vodka. And the way we did that was we had a kind of X Factor clash between Islam and Christianity, and it was actually dealt with quite well. But as soon as we came out as 2 middle-aged white men, it was like, you're not really the people to be. Are you sure you want to keep doing this now? Exactly. But the thing is, it was because it was because it was in a context either side of it with really silly sketches of us sticking around. I think it was a bit too much of a jump for people to think, well, actually, this is actually quite a nuanced script. I just think people's vision, and they saw it and thought, this is wrong.
We just came here for dad jokes, which is what I think that's the other thing is that we've learned to have confidence in it. The jokes are fairly bad. Yeah, but people laugh.
So that's a bit too quickly, but it's
but that's the point.
I think you know what you're getting into. I think
and I think that as long as you own that, and that was a lesson that was tried that our first director, a guy called Malachi Bogdanov, tried to really instill in us, but it's probably taken us a few years to get to. It's just the fact that we know these jokes are bad, but we think they're funny. And so just go with it, because this is what it's like in the pub. If you're with your mates and you're having a pint, these are the sorts of things you're going to talk about. These are how bad the jokes are going to be. And once people get that, then they can really enjoy it. So it's not being judged.
Our policy was, if you have 3 shit jokes, it's not good. But if you have 50, then it's just, it keeps going, and then people just become.
It's a shit joke venue.
That's but then there are. I like to think that there are 2 or 3 humdingers that we just sort of jab, and then not even a knockout punch. It's
never just more of a
what I've seen for those sort of
slightly harder jab.
What I've seen for those sort of pun type things, it's been it's like you need to 3 or 4 in a quick concession to go bad joke, and they go follow-up joke, and they go and then 3 or 4 they go, oh, that's quite clever. They've done 4 in a row. Well done. Actually, I can do that.
Well exactly.
Yes.
Well, we've got some great ones on telescopes.
In the show.
In the new one. Because the new one as well. The new show's in a bigger venue as well.
It is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we stepped up this year again. It's sort of every couple of years we've been lucky enough to sort of outgrow the venue that we're in. So it's close to, it's about 275 seater this year, which we've been lucky enough to sell out a few times. So it's going okay. It seems like there's still a growing interest in what we're doing, which, as we said before, means we'll inevitably be coming back next year for number 10.
Is it like a point of like no return, but you think we haven't got enough alcohol for all these people? Is there like a point where you like
there will be
like a limit? Is there like
there
a
will
ceiling?
be. We got Reading this year, which is, I think, the octagon is
hexagon.
It's one of the rectangle is about 1,200 people.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether we'll sell 1,200.
I don't think we will.
But if we did, that would be quite.
It's less the alcohol; it's more the trays.
Yeah.
The trays are
and the pouring and the stuff.
The pouring.
Yeah.
We've outsourced the pouring to help us here. But as every year we've been doing it ourselves. I mean, still do it now and again, but that's a job that I don't miss.
And it's not something we have to worry too much about, because I can't see us doing the O2 anytime soon. So we'll just keep going as we go, and it's all right.
Yeah. So how much booze do you think you consume during a single fringe?
We're pretty good these days. Well, the first year we came here, we drank every night, and probably a bit to excess most nights.
It really was.
We had some sort of borderline mental health problems, and it was very difficult keeping ourselves together. We were young, we were naive, and but we learnt pretty quickly to not do that. We've also got kids. Both of us have got 2 small children that we have that will be up here for most of the fringe. So dealing with them at 6 o'clock in the morning if you've been drinking excessively is not advisable. But also we kind of practice what we preach now. The drink less, drink better thing is something that we really enjoy. And with my mates in the pub, we have a 3-pint rule now, and I find that that actually does make life a bit better. You have enough to drink to feel you've had a drink, but not so much to drink that you've ruined the next day. So I think that's how we approach the fringe, just as we would a Saturday night out these days. And
personally, I think 3 is a good happy. You got a nice gentle evening buzz, but you're not like a dick about it.
No, exactly.
It's just like a nice happy. Like, I'm in a great mood. I'm going to go home. And then there's that fourth like, no, we've lost him. He's gone. We've lost him.
But it comes from that fear of missing out, doesn't it? Which I used to have in abundance when I was in my 20s. But then I realised nothing good happens after midnight anyway. 1 o'clock in the morning. So why stick around? It's all shit, really.
So for those who've never been to the Fringe before, as like either a visitor or as a performer, what's not written down? What is never told that should be told to new performers and new visitors to the Edinburgh?
Footwear is a real fucking
trench foot.
Really
is
difficult.
A real thing.
Bring more than one pair of shoes. That's
pace yourself. I mean, in all seriousness, all the bugs that go around here in the confined dressing room spaces. And we're at the Underbelly this year, and it's been brilliant. We've had we are in our dressing room, and it is very spacious. But we've been in the tiniest spaces with a lot of different people. And drinking excessively, eating badly, does lower the immunities. So you do pick up all these bugs. So try and pace yourself if you can.
I think as a performer, as a performer, I just try and get out of the bubble when you can, if you can, and not take it too seriously. What I find slightly amusing now, having been here 9 years, and I still get very indulgent in, what do people think about the show, but I think if you're here for the month and you're spending your whole time talking to people, hearing that they may be doing better, or or you're getting reviews that might not be going your way, or even if you're doing really well, it's just to not take it too seriously, and try and just if you're doing a good show and you're doing your best, then that's
enjoy it,
and the fact enjoy it and try and enjoy it, because there are loads of people that come up here, lose their shirt financially. Not many people come to the shows, but they go back thinking, well, that didn't go very well, but at least they're doing it. They're coming up for a month. They're doing something different with their lives. And that's what I think the Fringe is so brilliant, is that people just go for it.
Yeah.
When every ounce of logic in you suggests that you shouldn't.
Yeah. That for me, that's been the purpose of doing this. I came 2 years in a row, and it's such a creative vibe.
Yeah.
It's like hard to explain. It's like there is something in the air which makes you kind of go, I should do something.
Yeah.
If everyone's doing something, I should do something.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm doing this
Oh,
now.
okay.
No,
You know where it came from.
It does inspire you. I think that's
absolutely.
and there's so many talented people here that you can't help but sort of get completely inspired by it, and hopefully go home with some better ideas that you've nicked off other people.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. What's it like booking that first venue for the first time?
Well, I remember. Yeah. Well, the first we actually had a sort of our director and a producer, sort of stroke PR person called Sally Homer, sort of took us under her wing, and she just puts us into the Pleasance. We had no idea that it was one of the big 4 venues, and we were thrown into it. So, just seeing your name on a board was it's terrifying.
Big deal.
It is,
Yeah.
especially when we hadn't learned the script. We didn't know. I mean, it was
a car crash.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun that it didn't matter. But yeah, I think we came to it quite naive. So looking back on it, it helped that we weren't really part of this industry, because we didn't know how much pressure there was on us, and we just went with it really. The second year, that was harder because we were more aware of what was going on. But then, I don't know, you just sort of go with it, really. It's a weird thing. I mean, people come to the show and they think you're so brave to do what you do, like friends and family, and you think, well, not really. We're just kind of just gone with it, really. And I mean, we do take all our clothes off in front of 300 people. I don't think it's brave. It's just weird and slightly lazy, because it means you don't have to write any jokes. You can just take clothes off to get a laugh.
There's a joke in last year's show which was great, and I think there's an element of people are fueled with alcohol, and they're in that kind of mood of the night, and they're in that silly joke element as well. So they're ready to cheer anything. And then you do the Dirty Dancing lift.
Yeah.
And I was in that show, and they got the biggest cheer.
Yeah.
They got the biggest round of applause, and everyone was like, "Yeah!" It was like, but that was like, all it is 2 guys dressing up.
Yep.
In not amazing drag. I think it's just a wig and a dress.
It was
just doing a
Primark, all Primark.
Yeah. And
Shop ethically, folks.
And it's like, that's kind of what you really want from a show. Does that show you go, and punch the sky?
Yeah, well, that was Caroline Pope again, so we can thank her choreography for that.
I still haven't seen that film. I've never seen Dirty Dancing.
I've not seen it either. No, it's fine.
Oh, come on, guys, where have you been?
I mean,
it's amazing.
It still seeped its way into my consciousness. But
well, this year we have a go at the Can, not to give you too many spoilers, but similarly brilliant costumes and similarly average attempt at dancing is getting us a very big clap again.
Do you have any pre-show rituals?
One of our techs, Anna Bilson, who we'll give a shout out to, she taught us this thing where you shake your hand to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, count up to
16. You do all 4. You do 2 hands, 2 feet, and you kind of look like a jester.
And then you reduce it,
and then you bring it down, and then it's
8, 4, 2.
Is that sort of like a vocal one as well?
Yeah, and an energy thing. Jeremy Stockwell taught us something that he said
Benedict
Cumberbatch does, which is stick your tongue out.
No, wait, no, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you got it.
So what you do, you look into the distance, and then you say quite loudly, not shouting, your name and address. I'm not going to do that now because I just get loads of fan mail. So you do that, and then you do it again, but with your tongue out like that. Go.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
And it just stretches them out.
And then you do the same thing, but with the normal tongue, and it's amazing how clearer and louder it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So it's a good one.
Okay.
We're not we're not really professional performers. These things all seem like
it's quite funny
because you have to take your embarrassment glands out to get into the zone. But when you do it, you're like, well, it does actually work. So
it's out now. It's done. It's out there now.
Yeah, exactly.
What's next for you two guys? Do you think?
Well,
Well,
we're touring this, so we're going to be all over the UK with the Heroes of Hooch. That starts in October in Newcastle, and then we're going to be, like we said, there's places like Reading. We've got 2 shows in London at the Leicester Square Theatre.
And we're going to Abergavenny Food Festival.
Mhm.
So we're playing there. That's a big. We've never played Wales before. We've
No.
never broken Wales.
No, that's a big one. ThinkingDrinkers.com. If you go onto there, all the dates are on there. I can't think of
Yeah.
them all off the top of my head. But so we'll tour this show, and then we'll write a new show,
Which might be
we're talking
connected
about,
to a book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're talking to people,
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So
publishers.
maybe a bit more back on the campaigny theme, like the call to arms to get back to the pub from the last show. Maybe a call to arms to enjoy a drink, which we can tell you more about, hopefully, next year.
Yeah, no, I'd love to do that, absolutely. And so, finally, what do you take away from an Edinburgh Fringe crowd?
Chlamydia. Not really. My wife's listening to this, probably. No.
I tell you what I take away. We really do enjoy people clapping at us. And it's so weird when they stop that first day. You get back home and you wake up and you realise you're not going to do anything where someone's going to clap at you anymore. And I miss the applause, so I
Yes.
hold on to that for a whole year.
No,
Forward to getting it back.
it is. It's still a lovely feeling at the end of the show where you can tell people have enjoyed it. That is amazing, and it makes all of the hard work and embarrassment worthwhile. So you do miss that, but at the same time you don't miss that slightly gnawing anxiety in your pit of your stomach that kicks in at about
Right now.
3 o'clock. Yeah.
So I'm guessing you might not get that when you're touring as much because you're not on every day. You're kind of on. You're
Yeah.
on a bit more sporadically, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is one
yeah.
of the challenges with the Fringe. Is the consecutive dates is tough for everyone. But you do also take away that we were talking about that sense of like it's quite inspiring, and it's nice that it happens every year, the Fringe, and you do walk away and you think that's brilliant. It's just such an amazing thing. Over 3,000 shows. There's something here for everyone. More people should know about it. Should come. Keep coming. And we just hope it sort of lives on forever, really, because it's just such a brilliant experience.
Well, Ben, Tom, have a fantastic Fringe.
Thanks
Thanks
you.
very
Thanks
much,
for having
Ben.
us. Cheers.
So that was Tom and Ben, the Thinking Drinkers. Their show is here at the Edinburgh Fringe, Heroes of Hooch, 8:20 p.m. at the Cow Barn in Underbelly. That's at Bristow Square, just behind the Gilded Balloon. And they're on tour around the UK. You can find out details and much more at thinkingdrinkers.com. So, what have we learnt? The first week of the Fringe is always the most stressful. Beware of the roids. Don't end your show on a conga. Why tell 3 bad jokes when you can tell 50 and nothing good happens after 1 a.m? Footwear, 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 and don't take it too seriously but enjoy it. Remember to try Benedict Cumberbatch's vocal warm-up and be inspired to steal other people's ideas.